So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leopoldskron, which is the name of this beautiful white building on the other side of the lake, built in the mid-1730s by the Archbishop, Leopold Anton Firmian. And it was it's too much snaps with the cornflakes this morning, sorry. It was this house that Hollywood chose to be the Von Trapp house for The Sound of Music, but you didn't see this house at all in the movie, because a year before they started filming, in 1963, a team flew over from Hollywood to come and assess all the locations that have been scouted for them by a company here in Salzburg. And whilst they were going around with the local authority discussing what they were going to be filming, when, where and how, as soon as they got here at Leopoldskron, they realised there was a big problem at the front of the house. Many trees and bushes they said they would have to chop down to improve camera angles and lighting for the scenes that were going to be shot there. The local authorities said there was no way they were going to be allowed to chop the trees and bushes down, so Hollywood continued looking at the other locations and settled upon the one we did end up seeing in the movie, Fromberg. So nothing was filmed at the front of Leopoldskron. But one of the reasons they chose this location in the first place is at the rear of the house over there, there is a beautiful terrace. There's a gateway and steps that come down to the lake and an amazing view of the Untersberg mountain from over there. And Hollywood were fairly convinced they could still make this work with the two different locations, but when they started working out the camera angles on the terrace, they realised that you could see too much of the house in the background, and we the viewers would realise that they were using two different locations. So Hollywood had to find a way around this, and they did so in typical Hollywood style. They didn't film on the terrace that is over there, they built a replica of it in the open space between the two buildings under the trees. First of all, they built a stage. On the stage, an exact copy of the terrace. So you had the gates, you had the height with the stage, the steps coming down to the lake. You still had the view of the Untersberg mountain. They filmed everything without the house being captured on film in the background. And when they finished filming, they ripped it all up and returned the garden to its natural state. So there is no terrace over there from The Sound of Music, only the real one that they based it on. But that wasn't the only building they did here for the movie, and I think we all remember Rolf and Liesl dancing around the gazebo singing 16 going on 17. Well, Hollywood actually built 3 of those for the movie. 2 of them were in a Hollywood studio, and I'll tell you about them later on. The other one was just in front of the pink building over there, the old stables of the palace, and when it was built, it was agreed it would be left there as a thank you to the owners for letting them film in the grounds, which they did. Panorama Tours did the very first Sound of Music tours here in Salzburg back in 1967. And then the guests were standing exactly where you are now, but everybody was complaining they couldn't see the gazebo through the trees and the bushes. And on the way back to the bus, some of the guests were very determined to get a closer look. Some were running on ahead through the main gateway. Others were even helping others up over the wall. But either way, they were trespassing on private property and disturbing seminars and conferences that have been running out of that building since 1947, when 3 former students of Harvard University bought the palace and they set up a company called Salzburg Global Seminars. Through Harvard, they run these extremely high-end seminars where people come along and pay a lot of money to attend them. And our guests were running around the ground singing 16 going on 17 and Do Re Mi. So the owners weren't overly impressed, but eventually they agreed to let the tour groups in on one condition, that the tour guide was there to make sure the guests were on their best behaviour. Well, we just wanted you guys to have fun, and we probably made things even worse than they had been beforehand, so it didn't take very long before we got picked out again and we were back here struggling to see the gazebo over there. Well, another solution to the problem was found in the 1980s with the help of the local authority. The gazebo was ripped down from where you saw it in the movie, and it was rebuilt on that little patch of land just behind you there. It's not there, guys. It was a good idea, but it wasn't very well thought out, because here in the open, it didn't take long for it to get vandalised, graffitied on, and the local people complained about the state of it for many, many years. In 1991, the local authority decided to do something about it once again, and again the gazebo was ripped down, and this time it was rebuilt in the grounds of Hellbrunn Palace. Now, Hellbrunn has got nothing to do with The Sound of Music, but we're taking you there later to show you that gazebo. So thank you for standing here in the freezing cold for the last 5 minutes for